Talent without working hard is nothing. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Athlete Podcast sponsored by Sports for Champions. Today I'm delighted to be joined by professional footballer Tara Bourne. How are you today?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you here. Another fantastic footballer to add to our roster. We've got so many at the moment. It's absolutely amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about how you first got into football?
Yeah, so I feel like for me, I was the child that would play any sport, but my father always wanted me to play football, and football just clicked. I just wanted to do it every single minute of the day, come home from football, before football, and yeah, I played a few different sports, like I say, tennis, golf. My mum was keen on tennis, but yeah, football just stuck for me.
To a sporty family?
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's good, yeah. And then can you remember your first sort of interaction with sort of playing at school, would it have been?
Yeah, played for the school team too, all the way up, mainly for the girls team. The boys team did want me to play, but I politely declined.
How come?
In school they'd always like to take the mick that I was a girl playing football, so I thought when they wanted me to play for them, I thought no, I'll stick to what I do and I'll play for the girls.
There you go, that's so good. And I believe you actually came outside of school, you were playing for a girls team too.
Yeah, quite rare actually. I mean, it's improving now these days, which is great to see, but yeah, when I was younger, I actually had a girls' team, which now I believe's won like the best grassroots team in England. So it just shows what the funding can do. Yeah, I played for them, and it was a great way to make friends, grow confidence, and get me to where I am now.
What kind of player were you in the early days?
Oh, give me the ball and I'll try and dribble for everyone and score. I'd say now, well, I played in midfield then I dropped back to defensive midfield, a centre back, so I'm getting further back in the pitch, hopefully not in the goal. But yeah, I'd say I was more attacking and creative then, and now I'm a bit more reserved and intelligent.
How did your first interaction come around with a professional club?
So I was taken for a trial at Liverpool. I just thought it was another session, and then after the first session they wanted me, and my dad told me and mum that I was signing for Liverpool, and for me it was just a dream come true. It's the team I've always supported, and I told the guys out there when I first went, I hated it. I was crying. I didn't want to go. I wanted to go back to my grassroots team because it was such a big thing, huge character now, just the quiet girl from Cheshire. But I stuck with it and I grew to love it, and like I say, I had a great time there.
It must be quite daunting going into a dressing room where obviously you've come from grassroots sports and everybody, presumably they've been in the academy a while. Is that how it works?
Yeah, to be fair, I was still only young, but I love playing for my grassroots team. I didn't want to go everywhere, but I think everyone was nagging my parents saying, you've got to take her somewhere, you've got to take her somewhere. And like I say, they were willing to sacrifice everything for me, and they did. Like mum driving me hours, so I'm glad they did it and I could take the next step in my football. But yeah, the characters were huge. Like I say, I was just timid, quiet, and just was crying every day saying I don't want to go, but once I stuck to it and made friends, I was fine.
It's funny, you do hear footballers talk about it a lot, and sometimes people probably underestimate the role that parents can play. I'm sure there's loads of talented footballers, and we probably all know 2 or 3 from our school who you think they should have really done something. But I think having that support network is almost as important as the talent and working hard. Do you agree? Yeah,
it's huge what parents like myself will do for their kids to take them to football. Like I say, it was at least an hour's drive there and back. For me, playing at Liverpool, City, United, it was never a local team, because if I wanted to be in a big team, I had to drive far, and my mum had to sacrifice a lot to take me, and I'm so grateful that she did, because there's probably players out there that have missed the opportunity because that wasn't available to them, and foundations like this are great to help support that journey.
Definitely. Hopefully it's only going to grow from here. Can you tell us a little bit about regionals and about how England first came about?
Yeah, so it starts as more of a regional. So for me it was the Northwest and players. So at the time I was at Liverpool, and it was the players Everton, City, United, Blackburn, and I knew him from playing against him. So it's funny, you'd go and you were just a little kid, and on the pitch you'd be putting in massive tackles, and then you'd come against this girl that you'd had an argument with, and then you become best mates just for a regional. So it's great. It was a great environment to be in. And from there you'd then go to nationals, which was called NPC camp, up to under 14s, then 15s it became actual England, 15s, 17s, 19s, and then the 23s as it is now. And yeah, I was captain on my under 15s debut, which again is probably my proudest achievement. That's
amazing. Wow. Must have been so proud for your family as well. Were they there to watch?
Yeah, they were there in numbers. just to see like it paying off the sacrifices of them taking me for so many years, and for me to work hard and to be able to give them something back and have that proud moment of walking the team out and singing the national anthem.
That's absolutely amazing. And then from around that age, where as you move through the age bracket, so you're seeing like a big jump up in level, is it getting much more difficult each time, or do you kind of grow with it?
Yeah, I'd say you kind of grow with it when you're younger, 15s, 17s, 19s. You kind of grow as you go. You don't think too much about it. You're the same age group, but the jump from 19s to 23s, obviously there's a few years there. And when I first joined 23s, I was just, obviously at the start of my career, there's a few players there that are more established. They've made the debuts for huge teams and play regularly for huge teams. They've been in and out of the seniors, so there's definitely a huge age range there, and different abilities and what you need from the 23. Some are there just to develop, some are to get game time, some are to show themselves for the seniors. And for me, it was just about being happy to be there, get my head down and keep playing. And then as I get through the age group further and further, obviously you get close to the seniors, and it's how do you make that jump to the seniors.
Of course, yeah. You touched on it before, but I know obviously you were a captain on your debut. It's quite funny to hear you got to say you kind of going from crying outside the changing rooms, not wanting to play at Liverpool, to obviously 4 or 5 years later to actually being captain of England. What is it, do you think, about you that makes you a good captain and gives you the kind of resilience to turn that around?
Yeah, for me, I feel like a captain needs to be someone who's well respected, and you earn that respect. It isn't given. Like at Liverpool, I was captain also. At City, I had time being captain at same United, and going to a new club, it's hard. You're out your comfort zone, but for me, I like to get my head down and lead by example on and off the pitch. And for me, you earn that respect, and then, like I say, you just have to be yourself. You can't pretend to be someone you're not, because you're not authentic then. You just have to be yourself and gain the trust of others, be honest. There's a lot of things that add up to being a great leader, but for me, it's that honesty, that being authentic to yourself and showing it on the pitch.
There's different types of captains, I suppose, and there's the kind of captain, like you say, leading by example. There's the kind of captain where they're basically talking everyone through the game. Which kind of bracket would you fall into? I'd
say a bit of both. I do like to lead by example. I don't do it purposely, but I like to think like I do the right things, and if people want to catch on and I inspire them to do the right things too, then that's great. But for me, I like to, as long as you take care of yourself, and then people will hopefully click onto what you do and ask questions and want to do the same thing. But I'm always willing to help anyone to do anything to help them on and off the pitch. But like I say, I also like to talk people through the game, try and be loud on the pitch, and I feel like I'm intelligent. I see things that some people might not see, so to help anyone in that sense, I'll do that too.
You joined Manchester City just as they had sort of huge investment into the women's team. Can you tell us a bit about that experience and how it differed maybe from Liverpool?
Yeah, so I loved my time at Liverpool. It was great, and I needed a different challenge. Like I said, I was kind of in my comfort zone, and I wanted something new, something to shake me up a little bit. And that's what City did. It was so professional. For me, it was opened a new world of football in the gym, on the pitch, off the pitch, like standards, psychology, everything. I learned so much. But for me, like the clear pathway, like say, they were pumping so much money in that the pathway to the first team wasn't quite there. I was only young and I just wanted to develop. And at Liverpool, going back, I had the chance to have that pathway to the first team, and I chose it.
Yeah, you do often see that, especially with Man City, where obviously amazing facilities, great setup through all the different age groups, but breaking into that first team when they throw so much money at it, and there's so much sort of built-in players basically who kind of the stalwarts basically. What you see some young players moving over to Europe and stuff like that. Was it a difficult decision to go and play football somewhere else and maybe feel like, you know, I'm kind of missing out maybe on this opportunity, or was it straightforward?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough obviously leaving a club. You leave for a reason, but it's always nice to have options and opportunities elsewhere. And when United came in and I saw a pathway there, I chose it, and obviously it paid off, and I'm here now because of making that decision. And I'm glad I went to City, I'm glad I went to Liverpool, and I'm glad I went to United. Everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't change my career for the world.
United the biggest club?
Oh, I'm a Liverpool fan. I know you're a United fan, I'm not falling for it.
Yeah.
But a huge club around the world, huge, as is Liverpool, as is City.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. In terms of injury, I know it's something that you've had a few problems with. Was it at United actually that you developed that injury?
I feel like at all clubs. At City, I became captain and then picked up an injury. At Liverpool, I had a few niggles, but I'd play on. I feel like that's my issue. I'd have a niggle, but I wouldn't stop. I'd say to the coach, I'm fine, I'll play on. So that's something I need to learn, to know when to stop. But yeah, I'd say my biggest one at United throughout COVID, I needed a hip surgery, but obviously hospitals closed, wasn't able to have it, had to rehab on Zoom every day to my physio.
Not ideal, no.
Frustrating as hell. But yeah, had the surgery, came back and was with the first team.
That's awesome. Wow. And then do you feel like it's one of those where it's completely fixed now and you don't have to worry about it, or have you slightly had to adapt your game a little?
So I'd, fingers crossed, hopefully fixed now. I have a few other little niggles which I saw the physio in pre-season, and now have an activation which I do every single morning. Okay. For me, that's my mental resilience and my discipline. Like, I'll do whatever I need to do to be fine to play on the weekend. To train, I'll never miss a session if that's possible. So yeah, get up in the morning and do my activation and crack on.
There you go. In terms of sort of football now, I know you spent a bit of time at Birmingham and you're now at Sheffield, where I think you spent some time on loan. So you're playing now with a lot of the girls who are actually with Sports for Champions also, which is really great. Can you tell us a bit about Sheffield and perhaps how you're getting on this season, what you're looking forward to for the rest of the season?
Yeah, great. We have a great group of girls, obviously. I came to Sheffield for a reason, good conversations with the manager, our ambitions aligned, and for me, I spoke to my agent and it was perfect. Just wanted to play, be in an environment where I was happy. You look at the table and you probably don't think we're doing great, but looking at performance-wise, it doesn't reflect on the results. I think we've played well, we've got a great team, and we've had a tough season. We've had setbacks in pre-season. A few setbacks with some players, and also we lost one of our own players earlier this season, which is devastating, heartbreaking. But like I say, we're a great group of girls and we've stuck together and we can come for anything together. It's shown now and it shows on the pitch.
Yeah, you can tell. You can see the vibe around the club is really good, and you have really all come together, which is really nice to see. Can you tell us a little bit about what a typical day's training looks like for you? Yeah,
so wake up. For me, like I say, do my activation. Sometimes breakfast at home, sometimes I'll have it at training depending how I feel. I live with the goalkeeper, so we'll drive to training, bit of karaoke on the way.
Nice.
I'll wake her up.
You wake her up?
Yeah, screaming down her ear, singing. So get to training, a bit of breakfast, chill, chat to the girls, bit of treatment if we need, meeting, analysis, activation, out onto the pitch, train for a few hours. And then usually gym, lunch, gym, and then home to chill.
So it's a fairly full day of it.
Yeah.
You touched on analysis there. Is that where, are you watching sort of the opponents from the weekend coming up, or are you watching your old games, or a bit of everything?
Yeah, so a mix of both depending. So if it's like a Tuesday, we'll do post-game analysis from the game Sunday. If it's Wednesday, we'll then probably look towards the opponent on the weekend coming up. In possession, out possession, we'll look at stats, everything, and then there's me picking the analysis head for clips of strikers. A bit of everything.
That's really cool. Do you like watching those things? I know some players really don't, like they just rather not see, like they know they messed up, they'd rather not see it, or do you enjoy kicking over it?
Enjoy watching my own mistakes?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, the good parts.
I lose sleep over it. No, it's good to analyse and watch the performance back, and it's not only good to watch your own, it's good to watch other players too. Players that you look up to and want to be like, it's great to watch their clips. But you have to watch your clips where you make mistakes. It's the only way you can learn. Even if you just watch it once, talk it through and put it to bed, it's good. It does help. Watching opposition analysis, I'm not too keen on it. I feel like I like to focus on our team, our tactics, my own game. But you have to, don't you? Where's their weaknesses, where you can exploit them. So it's all good. All fun and games.
Lovely. And in terms of nutrition, I assume there's some work done with the club, but obviously you'll have to do your own work at home. How's your approach to it? Are you always healthy?
Yeah, like I say, everyone takes the mick out of me, 24/7 athlete. No, I like to eat healthy. I like to look after my body. For me, after experiencing a few injuries, I've realised the importance. We had a great nutritionist at United who really opened my eyes to everything, and you don't realise the effect it has until you delve deeper into it. But yeah, I like to take care of it, and I feel like it makes me feel good. I enjoy it. It's maybe a hobby of me, eating good food. So I love my food, and I know how much it can help your performance. So yeah.
Are you a good cook? I mean, we see some absolute criminal athlete meals of just
if I'm
the most
honest,
bland stuff.
Yeah, that's probably me to a T. If it's good for me, I'm eating it.
Right.
Everyone takes them. On the bus, I've been eating calamari rings, and they kick me off at the services to eat them outside in the rain.
Well, that smell.
Yeah, I know. I do it on purpose just to wind them up. But
big bowl of squid on the bus.
Nice. Yeah, no, do anything that can help my performance.
That's great. In terms of funding, I know it's something that is changing in the women's game. It's getting better kind of year on year as more money comes into the game, more eyes on the game. Obviously, it's been pushed forward by the success of the Lionesses.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and perhaps the role that Sports for Champions can play?
Yeah, it plays a huge role. Obviously, like, you know, the women's game is growing, like you've said, it's getting there, but it's still a process, and it's a process that's going to take time, especially for different clubs, like the higher clubs, just speaking about the top 4 or 5, or the WSL teams. Obviously, they're growing rapidly, but the gap's also increasing between them and the lower teams, the WSL, and then you come to the championship. So it's tough, but we're moving in the right direction, and organisations like Sports for Champions are only going to help this, and are doing. Like, for people like myself, obviously, you want to eat healthy, but you can only do that if you've got the funding to do so, to do the right food shop instead of going to your McDonald's for your 99p burger.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's great. It's beneficial. It means you can travel to training, you can buy the right equipment and do the right things to make sure you're performing on the pitch.
Do you think being an athlete has made you a better person?
100%. I wouldn't be half the person I was if it wasn't for sport and football. It's great, the things you learn, the characteristics that you pick up, and the morals you grow to have are great. Sport's great.
What kind of legacy would you like your career to leave behind?
Oh, big question. I just want to inspire as many people as I can and help as many people along the way, and share my story, my journey, and hope to help and inspire a few people and leave my shirt in a better place, and then hopefully someone comes, picks it up and leaves it in a better place for them.
That's great. And for the future, where do you see your career going? Do you set yourself goals, or how do you kind of approach it?
Yeah, obviously I like to look longer term, but for me, shorter term is always good, week to week, but longer term looking, obviously to be a senior lioness, to captain my club and country, and to win major trophies along the way. What sport without winning?
Definitely.
Always want to win.
If you had one piece of advice for somebody looking to start a career in sport, or maybe more specifically, say a young girl looking to start a football career, what would it be?
Just commit to it. Do what makes you happy and give everything you can to it. Like, don't hold back. Like, for me, going into Liverpool when I was shy, timid, didn't want to embarrass myself. Don't hold back. Go for it. Do all you can and just be happy whilst you're doing it.
I think that works for life too. That's really good advice.
100%.
Perfect. Well, I think that's a great note to end it on. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. It's been lovely talking to you, and thank you to everyone joining at home. We'll see you next time. Cheers.